But it does take two to tango, and the Tigers today would fancy their chances. They've got a lot of experience in a milestone game also for their captain. Great to see Cousins back in that team. They've been in the bottom three for all of this season, but they've got a chance to take a scalp here today, and they'd like nothing better than for it to beat Essendon, because they've got a great rivalry with the Bombers over the years. Good crowd, perfect conditions, and we really should have a terrific day. Just waiting for Jade Rawlings in just a moment. We'll grab Jade. He won his first game, obviously, with West Coast and the draw last week. Jade, thanks for coming up, mate. You mentioned Chris Newman. It's his 150th the captain, a big day for him.
Yeah, it is. He's been a terrific captain. He's been a good player, but what he's gone through this year as a captain first up's been difficult, but the way he conducts himself is sensational.
You look good on paper. You've got some experience back. Koch and Cousins fully recovered from the flu. They had a good week at training.
Yeah, both been excellent. They've done both sessions, Tuesday and Thursday. They've prepared really well. They're great additions to our midfield, so hopefully they'll be able to have good days.
And I notice you're starting Brown. It's nice to have him back.
It makes our forward line look a bit more potent, so along with Morton, Nahas, Revolt, Post, we're starting to look all right down there.
Well, I hope you have the same first half as last week, mate, but not the second half. All the best.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Bruce.
Up to you, Dennis.
Good on you, Bruce. Out come the Bombers, looking to bounce back after losing to the Western Bulldogs on Friday Night Football. Number 6, Angus Monfries, is back after missing the last 2 games. Put out by Dustin Fletcher. Big afternoon for these Bombers, too. A game they're expected to win. But I don't know about you, David, but I'm expecting a little something from the Tigers this afternoon. I think they'll give a bold showing.
Well, as Bruce and Jay were just saying, they have got a very good side on paper, Richmond, and if Essendon aren't switched on and they don't capitalise on Richmond turning the ball over, well, they may be in a bit of strife. But they've got wonderful talent all over the ground, the Bombers. They're well drilled. They know what their game plan is. And in particular down back, their youth, the young kids coming through have really given them an injection of just what you need to do to find a spark. Tate Pears, the young man we're watching right now, he can play forward and back. He's got wonderful strength for just a really young player, and he knows what he's doing every time he takes to the field. Michael Hurley, we haven't seen a lot of him because he's been injured, but what we have seen would suggest that he's a 10-year player in the making and someone that they can build a side around, either back or forward.
Yep, looked very versatile against the Western Bulldogs, went forward late in the game and gave them a spark, although it was a game they couldn't win. Mind you, here's a guy who changes the demographic. Dustin Fletcher, described by James Hurd as the best player he's played alongside. And speaking of veterans, last time I saw Ben Cousins, he was in wonderful form. That was against Carlton. From memory, he had 35 possessions. He's back this afternoon after a bout of the flu. Good luck to him. Trent Cotchin also coming back. He battled the flu, and this guy has been playing in the VFL for a while now. Nathan Brown. He'll have to fire up because his future is not assured. Is that a fair thing to say?
Well, I think he's got a few games to prove himself, and he's a champion. And just like this bloke is, as soon as we knock champions, they seem to be able to show us exactly what they're made of.
Sunday football, it's Essendon and Richmond. Stick around.
Well, a little earlier, some guns here. Matthew Richardson and David Hill with Mark Winterbottom and Craig Lowndes trying their skill. We think it'll be a fast game today, with maybe not the end result there. So, two of the big guys here is Craig, got the Bomber scarf. Craig will be in action next weekend, the Norton 360 at the Sandown Challenge. And Chris Newman's 150th, and Matty Lloyd, who keeps on keeping on. He's up to 269 today, but a milestone for Newman. Good crowd building up, perfect conditions. Let's go down and join Ricky. And Ricky, it's good to have some of these experienced players back for the Tigers.
Yeah, well, one of those, Macca, is Nathan Brown. He's been out for the last 8 weeks with a groin complaint. Now, there's been a lot of scrutiny on Nathan's playing future. And as we've seen with Jade the Blade Rawlings and his time as caretaker coach here at Richmond, names and reputations mean nothing. So Nathan Brown will really want to put his hand up today and play a great game of footy to set up the rest of his season. Talking to Nathan Brown a few weeks back, he's actually going to Las Vegas with Richo at the end of the season, but he's only booked a one-way flight. He wants to see what happens with his playing future, whether he wins another contract, see whether he books a return flight home. Now, talking to the Essendon coaching staff before the game, the one headache they've got when they're fronting up against Richmond is whether Richmond's forward line will start tall or short. So just watch out for that one, boys. And Shane Tuck, who's first time he's missed a game in about 5 years, was at the top of the race. He high-fived every single player and every single coach. So I'm sure Shane Tuck's spirit will be out there with the boys.
A one-way ticket to Vegas. Wow. Just about set to go. The umpires this afternoon, Donlan, McBurney and Hendry. Number 37 is Post. Up against Pears.
Slattery going straight to Brown.
A lot of youth there.
There is indeed.
The impetuosity of youth. Just bouncing around.
Matty Lloyd is playing up the ground a little bit.
Sunday football. Under partly cloudy skies.
Essendon free kick holding on centre wing. Pat Ryder.
There was Stanton there who won the free kick for his team.
Ryder, lovely kick inside the forward 50. Lucas, the dream start.
Yeah. Really disappointing there for the Tigers to give away a free kick. It was against Jackson. He just flung Stanton to the ground on the wing, and as a result, Ryder gets a free kick in the centre of the ground. He's coming off. Jade Rawlings isn't putting up with that, and Jackson's probably been their best player all season.
So Lucas comes in, kicks and kicks truly. 2 kicks, a goal.
I like that with Jade Rawlings. As Rick said just a moment ago, it doesn't matter if you're Ben Cousins, Daniel Jackson, who's probably been their best player, or a young player in his first season. You do the wrong thing, you don't play by the team rules, you're coming off or you're not playing. And I think that sort of discipline is needed at a young club with young players that are influenced by decisions and actions by senior players.
So Lucas, who missed out last week against the Bulldogs, straight to the bench, straight on the phone, Daniel Jackson to Jade Rawlings. So when he gets out there, you reckon he's got some catching up to do, but as Ox said, he's been a terrific player this year. He's got the Stanton job early. We were wondering whether it'd be Lovett or Stanton for him.
Holding the ball, arms free.
Yeah, a little bit of niggle here.
Up we get, come on. Up we get.
Haven't they been hot on holding the ball this round?
Yeah. That might have been one of the memos that was sent from the head of the umpiring department.
But you can push someone in the back when they take a mark and there's no 50 anymore.
No.
Dyson gets it and goes to full for. That's a good kick. Bouncing, and Sylvester runs it over.
Under pressure, Scott.
Well, they need to get their hands on the footy, the Tigers, because this will be the first touch for them.
Play on.
Cousins. Tambling has been very good, probably with Deledio. They're 2 outstanding players this season.
Advantage, chose to fend off.
So McPhee gets the advantage, and the kick's not good to Lucas. It was a poor entry by McPhee. And the mark taken by Sylvester. Very short. Polo in the back pocket.
Working hard here, the Bombers, to keep the ball in. Man on man. The Tigers are now got it loose.
Dean Polo pulls it back towards the opposite pocket. Thursfield, meters in the clear. Short, needs to be precise. Nahas. A shining light for the Tigers this season so far. Nahas inside his own defensive 50. Told to play on. McGuan.
Thanks, Matty.
Not exactly the most convincing start. That bold showing I was talking about before the game, this is not what I had in mind. No. Nahas.
Well, they need someone who got a lot of plays in where the Tigers would like to go, and that's down the line. So they're just going to have to tacking their way up like a yacht race.
Newman's got it.
Play on.
See, there's no urgency though by the Tigers.
Well,
they're patient.
It's like a 3-hour tour.
Stay there.
One of my favourites too. Unfortunately, the skipper didn't take the mark. This is Revo.
Go on. Play on.
He actually kicked at the skipper.
Done.
Cousins. Corralled cleverly by Dempsey, but Cousins finds Cochin. The two that withdrew last week with the flu, and then Cochin goes long. King and Lovett. King, good contest. Pears, Post was pretty good. Is that holding the ball? Lloyd's back there. Gee, did well, Lloyd. Terrific to Lovett. And Lovett trying to seduce someone to come to him. Back to Fletcher. Back to Stanton. And then Stanton switch it up. Not a great option in the end. Nahas, very good tackle by Pears.
Just drop the ball. Back there.
He looks so young, Robbie Nahas. Almost too young to be playing AFL footy.
Well, the bloke tackling him's even younger.
Yeah.
Here's McPhee in the defensive goal square to Prismal. Short of half back, loops the hand pass across to Fletcher. The veteran comes out wide. That's a beautifully weighted kick into the path of Hurley. Hurley runs to the wing, goes down towards right half forward. McGuan, no intention really of keeping it in. So boundary throw in. Bombers lead by 7 points. An opening free kick before the centre bounce, resulting in a goal. Throw in takes place with Vickery directing it down. Winderlich falling to the ground. Cousins, his second possession. Quite a percentage of the Tigers' possession so far. And he combines once again with Cochin, who gave it to Tambling post. Cousins. He's looking okay, Cousins. White not looking so good. Taken down by Lovett Murray.
It's a great tackle. He didn't overcommit. He held his ground and just brought the player, White, straight down. Beautiful.
So Lovett Murray, one of the 2 inclusions today for the Bombers. To Watson. Job Watson, who started on the bench today, the interchange. He's had a wonderful year, then got the injury and struggled last week. Monfries. Now that's close. Down to you, Rick.
Well, we just saw Joe Watson get his first kick for the day. He's had a very light week on the track. He's been carrying an ankle injury for a few weeks. There was some doubt that he would play today. Looks like he's been picked up. Matty White was picking him up as a tag, but he's now replaced him with McMahon.
So post kick, and Ricky mentions them, Dennis, and they take a mark for him.
Amazing, isn't he? Reimers, Davey, Lovett, Fletcher to the outer side. Hurley sits for him. Delidio didn't tackle him. Davey feigns a hand pass. Whoops. Reimers, Hurley inside the centre square now. Goes out very wide. Lucas attracts the ball, but getting across Polo, and Polo will get a free kick.
This is a very unusual start to a game of footy. It's almost one-on-one with the zoning floating part of the game through the centre of the ground. There's very little positional play being made at the moment. It's just follow the football.
Has to come back to Polo, who made his debut against the Bombers, round 6, 2006. That day, 28 possessions, 3 goals and 3 Brownlow votes. Then I think he hired a Winnebago and drove to Vanuatu. They're starting to come back to him.
It's hard to build on a career like that, isn't it?
Isn't it? He goes in short. This is Edwards. Edwards on the outer side. Not a bad crowd this afternoon. Good footy day.
This is where Richmond having trouble just trying to get it out of their half-back line. Got no runners from behind.
I wouldn't have advised that.
Not against Owen Davey.
No. Slattery wanders one down towards the pocket. Polo, who started all of this, gets a hand pass away. They're under real pressure down there. Jackson knocks it back to Polo. Polo around the boundary. And they'll take that post.
Yeah, taking Owen Davey on the mark is ambitious, I think. Sylvester. So no damage to the Tigers so far, because the Bombers, but for that first goal, well, here's a chance. Here's some damage. Ooh, well, he had a lot of time there, Reimers. Lloyd doing a second good thing here.
He's working hard, Lloyd. He's been up both ends of the ground, and his little 1%ers at the moment creating chances for the Bombers. Ricky Dyson has gone to pick up Tambling, who's been in really good form over the last month.
What about Nathan Brown? He got a handball from Edwards a moment ago with Owen Davey breathing down his neck, and then he got a hospital pass there. Jackson's back on. Delidio release. This is what we were expecting. A third running bounce. Lovett coming at him. The 2 trains don't collide. He goes to the forward pocket. Morton fell over. Well, transitional play, exciting that time.
I think that's what Jay would have said to Brett Delidio. When you get the footy, use that, your biggest asset, which is your pace. Take the game on and run the lines.
Hooker gets a hand to it, directs it down. Umpire will call for it again. Slattery with an arm draped over his right shoulder, but no free kick. Tigers need a goal.
Well, contested possession at the moment is 9 to Essendon, 4 to the Tigers. Probably just need to toughen up a little bit and win some hard footy.
Prismal left it behind, spills backward of the pack. Patterson dives after it. Jackson created some space and kicks it behind.
So back out there after his indiscretion before the ball was bounced, and a minor score.
Lucas coming off, Paddy Ryder coming on. He'll go down into the forward line and see if he can stretch the Richmond defence.
So
Hasn't
hooker.
gone, he's just looked. That's fine. Play on.
Very short
Wow.
Okay.
to Welsh.
That wasn't the required distance, was it?
Play on, play on.
So Welsh in the back half. And that one just eluding Monfries, but the good result was that it didn't go out on the full. Monfries important, we reckon, for the Bombers. He's a bit of an X-factor forward. Lucas, the goal scorer. Slattery, the run-with player. They cross paths there on the interchange. So a quiet start here. Cochin almost. Cousins has been very busy. Good tackle, but he got a handball away to Cochin. So for not the first time these two guys combine, and then Polo back to Cousins, who's very busy early. Lovely kick to Vickery, to post. Ran him into a bit of trouble, back to Vickery. So the teenagers, can they work it out? You betcha. Post taking on Fletcher, back to Patterson. Well, that was not pretty. It went the wrong way in the end. A bouncing ball. Polo has to stand up. Jackson did pretty well. They're all over him. Ball up.
They nearly worked it out well, the two Tiger young players. They got it over the top, but then Post ran out of room, and he had to get the hurried kick away.
Hooker straight to Delidio. Cousins, 7th possession, and a good one too. What a clever kick. Well, it's good and bad news when Ben Cousins is your best player.
Well, he's had seven disposals, what, in 10 minutes of footy. He's working hard, and at the moment he's just coming off a rest, but too much space given to him.
Well, against Carlton, he was terrific. Fev got the 9 that day, but Cousins wasn't far behind him in a losing cause with 35.
He's still got a couple of years left if he keeps his form up.
He's the only guy of the Tigers who consistently hits targets. Revolt shrugs off last week, comes in and gets a goal.
By the look of it, Richmond have identified 3 key players for Essendon. They're running 3 hard tags. You've got Jackson picking up Watson, White's running with Stanton, and Jake King is with Andrew Lovett as his shadow for the day. And they're allowing Ben Cousins as a freewheeling midfielder.
That's unusual, isn't it? So many tags these days. We don't normally see them.
Tackle's got to be legal.
So
On
in
the
the
full
back.
now.
Oh,
So awkward kick by a hooker, but gee, good result.
he got close to the man of the mark, and it actually went, I reckon it went through the player's arms on the mark. Here's the tackle. Oh, he had him too. Jackson, he's a little bit frustrated at the moment. Jackson gave away the free kick at the start and just over-aggressive on that one.
So Remus, it's his 7th game back. He missed much of the first half of the season. He's kicked a goal in 5 of the 6 games so far. He missed one earlier today.
Oh,
That's not going to be a score. It could be a mark either way. Tigers had the numbers. Ryder outnumbered. So the Bombers look a bit flat here. I know they got that opening goal.
There's Brett Delidio. We saw that he had something written on his hand last week. I can look at that correctly. I reckon it says run hard, Den.
Did it?
Yep.
Brown the target.
Oh, thank you.
Why should I?
Short to Jackson. Almost run down, but he got a good kick away. Lovely kick to Morton, who can look up. Well, he probably ran himself into trouble there. And now Hislop pushed out, belted away by Hurley. So impressive. Fletcher, Slattery runs into Morton.
It's a good tackle. Slattery turned around and he had the blinkers on. He didn't realise that he had someone right there. See, that was a shocking kick by Morton coming in, though.
Vickery hooks it down. Down goes Dempsey as well. The body's going in willingly. Watson trying to slap it out of there. Prismal did well. Lovett Murray goes back to Fletcher. Fletcher, as he always does, uses the ball well. Lovett. Prismal once more. He's at right half back. Needs somebody to come to him. Now Davey scuttles. Awkward half volley still going. Held up by King. Enabled Newman to come through, and what a beautiful kick. I take it back. Cousins not the only one who can hit a target.
Would Jake King then take a bow, because you just put Davey off enough.
In from the side, Ryder.
He floats, doesn't he? Just glides through the air, and feel that confident when he's around the ball when it's in flight.
Had a wonderful season Lovett Murray inside the forward 50. Lloyd up in front. Couldn't complete the mark. Flicks a hand pass intended for Dyson Polo in the road. Cochin, we like him. From half-back kicks to the wing. Hislop takes the mark.
Against his old team, and now McMahon. Again, a target spotted. But Nahas will go on here and miss. But right now, you feel like Richmond look more dangerous than Essendon at this very moment.
Well, Essendon have been very good at counter-punching all year, that when their opposition turn it over, they're able to capitalise. But at the moment, Richmond are doing that to Essendon. Every time they mess it up, the Tigers are pouncing.
Gee, that was a well-weighted handball by Lucas. And Dempsey kicked it to him. Corralled by McMahon and then forced to go wide to Monfries.
That's what Jade Rawlings wants from Jordan McMahon. He wants the efforts when he hasn't got the footy to be as good as those that when he has got it. Chase down there on a pretty quick player in Dempsey. Well done.
Well, he brought him back last week. First time McMahon's played under Rawlings, and he had 6 running bounces and 26 disposals, so he didn't let him down. Here's King. Got it down low, and he runs hard.
Towards midfield. Revolt juggles the mark alongside the centre circles.
No one there, though, Den. They've got to run it in.
This is King. Doesn't mind this situation. Inside the 50. Lines up.
Well
kicks
done.
a goal. Jake King.
He had 5 tackles against North last week, King. That's what they'll expect today. So it's 2 very good bits of play. One, the Davey push-off a moment ago, and then the running goal. So Tigers now doing well. They've kicked the last couple. Watson to Lovett. Lovett's little dinky left to Prismal. Decides to come back in. He had McVeigh wide. Still uncertain. He hasn't panicked. Stanton providing some run. Low kick was looking, I think, for Davey and also maybe Lloyd. Davey, good tackle, and he's gone.
No, legal disposal.
They've taken roll the Tigers.
No. Yeah, look, I'm gone. That's it.
Just centre clearances. The Bombers are on top there, 4-0. But not being able to get it inside 50 other than that first free kick that was given away by Jackson.
McGuan to Edwards. I thought Edwards was really good last week in that opening half. Cousins again getting involved, and now Brown, normally a good kick to King. They're opening the Bombers up here just for the moment. Can they do some damage on the board? He had to stop and prop Brown. Goes high. Revolt front spot. Pears at the back. Just through Cousins' legs. Chance for Hislop.
Now Post hard against the boundary line. Hooks it very high. In from the side, Slattery. Falls to Dempsey. Dempsey. Well, shows a lot of it to Newman. Prismal paid the price. Dempsey, though, came quickly, got the crumb. Prismal, Winderlick from half-back. That's a good kick. A confident kick. Ryder, Fletcher, forward of half-back. Goes for distance. Up comes Lloyd, gathers the bouncing footy. Davey should hightail it back towards goal. Gets it now, got it from Winderlick. Across to McVeigh, natural left footer, kicks a goal. Beautiful.
Well, I mentioned earlier that Joe Watson came into this game with a doubt from an ankle injury. Well, he's just limped off the ground now. He's in the hands of the physio. And I reckon Daniel Jackson, his target for the day, has actually identified that. You can see Joe Watson getting some work done. But Jacko really prides himself on his work ethic. He's trying to run Joe Watson into the ground.
Pinned in there.
Well, Jake King will be pretty happy with his start. He's had the 3 touches, kicked the goal, he's tackled pretty hard. He's in the game. And I think that's the first step for Jake King. He's in the game. He's hit his targets. So far, good. So far, so good for him.
Vickery won the tap. Davey goes to ground.
Let him up, thanks.
There's some big numbers already, though. 8 possessions to Polo and Cousins. Fletcher's had 6, rebounding off halfback for the Bombers.
So both teams just trying to get the right matchups in this opening quarter. Those that suit them. Post went to ground. Hurley over the top. So much youth out there today, and many of them playing head-to-head.
Ooh.
Ryder up the front of Deledio.
I'm just talking about the youth. The Tigers have got 8 players that have kicked less than 10 goals. So it goes to show that their side is very, very young in that respect. And, and as we said in the start of the match, 32 out of the 44 players have played under 100 games. So we don't have many experienced players. The 4 experienced players we have out there have played a lot of footy in Fletcher and Cousins and
Lloyd and
Nathan
Lucas.
Brown. Yeah.
Lloyd and Lucas.
King at close quarters. White knocked off the footy. Love it. After Stanton knocked it his way. Now Dempsey from centre half back spots a man out in the open. Prismal goes down towards the attacking 50. On the ground is McGuan.
Coming back for
It's coming back.
Monfries. He'll get the free kick.
A long way from the ball on the opposite side of the ground.
Well, the umpire's just explained Polo over the shoulder.
One wonders why.
Stay out the back, Jay. Stay out the back here. You can go.
You wouldn't think he's a threat when he's 90 metres away. Sitting in the pocket.
Handy player. Monfries will kick from about 40. Scotty Lucas got the opening goal. Back on the goal line. Right behind Gus. In he comes. Oh. Out to the right of behind. Not his best effort.
All right. Just they're the opportunities where the little forwards we saw Nahas miss one, we saw Monfries miss one. When you're a little forward, you've got to take those opportunities. Both kicks very kickable.
Ricky, they're all there.
So Dyson just told to come back on the mark. Cousins, a lot of the ball in the first quarter. Post had a fair bit of it. Edwards running hard. Neat kick off the boot, but just too tall for Morton.
Wasn't watching.
Second effort's good. Fletcher gets in there.
I ended up with it.
Number one
My
rule
ball.
you learn
Thank
as a
you.
young
Thanks,
fella
mate.
playing the game, Dennis and Bruce, must watch the footy at all times. Everyone was running back to the 50-metre arc and the ball was coming in.
Hislop had first hands, and Hooker taps it. Deledio. Well done by Newman to bring it back in. And then flicked back by Prismal. McPhee. So heavy traffic.
It's a real arm wrestle at the moment.
Let him up.
I don't want to sound an old fogey, but players these days are intent on watching their opponent, sometimes to the exclusion of the ball. And Pears was tracking his man and the ball was sneaking up behind him. How dare it?
Oh.
Watson over his shoulder. Hooker. Welsh goes down towards half forward. Stanton has to wait. That's a terrific mark.
Gee, that's strong.
Whoa. The man had one intention, was to punch the ball away. Lucas bounces off his chest, coming through Tambling. Enjoying good form recently. McGuan loops it over the top. Thursfield goes to the outer side. Patterson needs somebody to break across for him. Hislop is slow to go. Running past his post. Hislop is the next link in the chain. Well, he never got any momentum up, Hislop. He's got to move a bit quicker than that. Beautiful pass comes in from Lovett Murray. A quick exchange down low from Welsh. And he's still got the footy.
Andrew, after you've taken the mark, he just lands on you. Don't go back at him, all right?
Two fiery customers there.
So the umpire saw the hit, obviously. Not hard enough.
Steve McBurney, though, the mediator, just sorts it all out.
It's good umpiring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Just calm down, boys. Uh-oh.
Pears' handball put Watson under the pump. Slattery, McPhee. So Welsh gets another crack at it here. It'll give okay. Hooker in the centre, back to Welsh through the corridor. Watson forced to stretch. Did well, Watson. He could have panicked there. He's not 100% physically. Now Lovett to Davey. What does he do here? Normally something a bit tricky. Inside, Remus, rather Stanton, the 1-2. Back to Davey. Back to Winderlick, one of their runners. Gets away from Tambling to Dempsey to Winderlick. And a good smother from Thursfield.
They're undoing a lot of their own good work, the Bombers, overusing the handball.
Yep.
If they get the ball on, it's a very young defence that the Richmond have, and they've got some experienced forwards up there in Lloyd and Lucas and so forth. Get it up there and give them an opportunity.
Hooked down behind by Hooker. Davey. Nahas. Some slippery customers in there. Nahas goes to ground. Hooker got him. And we'll have a ball up. Like this uniform from the Tigers today too, and as much as you can read the number on the back for a change.
Very West Australian too, Dan.
Yeah. I think it's a fact too that Yellow stands out more predominantly on black than any other two combinations. Kick inside the forward 50. Footy colours they are. Revolt. Around the outer side goes Cousins. Hesitates now. Not much ahead. Demands something of a teammate. Sylvester goes back to him. Cousins, pretty tired. Reason to be. Kicks it down towards half forward. And still the poise to make it a perfect kick. Just inside the boundary line. Oh. Tambling took the mark. Hislop hasn't punched away. Boundary thrower.
Tell you one skill that has gone out the window in the last couple of seasons is handballing. So many handballs are missing the target, whether it's we're having more of them or what. Just so many hit the floor or go over the top.
Patterson won the take, but the other ruckman took it. Hooker, well done. Watson inboard. Got it to Dyson. Good tackle, Nahas.
It's a good chase. It's a really, really good chase.
Now.
He had there was three possessions in that link, and he kept going.
He's good to watch, Nahas, isn't he?
Well,
he makes you smile.
And he's done it the hard way, Bruce. He hasn't come through traditionally.
Cousins to McMahon, and then McMahon goes for goal. Mark coming up. Yep. Morton.
Had his name all over it, didn't he?
Yep.
He lost McPhee back in the goal square. He's going to play on.
Well, he likes doing this. Yep. He's much more comfortable. There's a bit of the Stevie Milne about him.
Been a good pickup. Mitch Morton with that goal, like all the Morton brothers from Hale School in Perth. There he is, running around.
Very skillful.
Hale School, noted for their skillful footballers. Basil Zempla's country. There goes the kick down towards half forward.
Need we say any more?
In the conversation there. Stanton just outside the defensive 50. Kicks close to the boundary line. Knocked away by Newman. Dyson is first back. Goes around the outer side. Spears it back towards the middle. Welsh. Around McMahon. Kicks inside the forward 50. Not a good kick though. Winderlich puts it back outside the 50. Lovett descended back inside the 50. Looking for Ryder, and Ryder has taken the mark.
When he's got front position and the ball's kicked at the right height, he's very hard to stop. Yep. What a beautiful kick.
Thanks, Paddy. He's on the mark, okay?
So Morton a goal at one end, a West Australian, and at the other, another West Australian. Paddy Ryder with a chance to score.
Andrew.
Interesting about Mitch Morton, he played for the West Coast Eagles, but grew up barracking for the Bombers. His footy hero was James Hird. Ryder right behind him, and Paddy gets it online and puts it through.
Oh, might not be.
Oh. Well, I was following the football, but I couldn't see the ground. Ground control to Major Tom. I didn't know what was going on.
See, that would have been a handy goal too, right on the siren.
No chance now. Deledio away. Well, this quarter got more interesting as it went on, and at quarter time the Bombers got a goal before the Tigers had a kick today, but Richmond did pretty well after that. They got 3 of the 4, and at quarter time they did it by 3 points on Sunday Football.
Thanks, Macca. I've got the midfield coach from Richmond, Wayne Campbell. Pretty impressive start. What do you think worked for you in that first quarter?
Yeah, so far so good, Rick. It's a long day. We've been competitive for the first couple of first half, the last couple of weeks, but it's been the second half that's been the problem. But yeah, we've been able to slow them down a little bit. They're a fast side. We know that, so we're just going to slow them down again in this second quarter.
Well, one thing I did notice, you're running 3 hard tags in that midfield.
Yeah, well, they've just got such potent players in there with Lovett, and obviously Jackson's going with Watson as well. So just need to slow them down a little bit and beat them around the edges.
But I saw you had a fairly long conversation with Ben Cousins there at quarter time. What was all that about?
I was just trying to play half forward high and just how high he can get and whether his man drops off. So we'll see how that goes.
Right, thanks for your time. Got your way. Tap.
12 disposals. Thanks, Ricky, for that. 12 disposals for that man, Ben Cousins, in that opening term. He was impressive. He's had a great game, as Jenna said a couple of weeks ago, against Carlton. Missed last week with the flu, but right now he's going as well as anyone in the Tiger Guernsey, isn't he?
Yep.
He's you know, whether he plays next year or not, if you had to make your decision on his last few games, he is absolutely name on the contract, and he will be playing next year.
The veteran that surprises me at Richmond is Joel Bowden. I don't know what's happening there. That's very strange. I mean, they seem to be showing more respect, if you like, to somebody like Nathan Brown. Let's go down to Ricky.
Just keep an eye, Dennis, on Mark McVeigh. Copped a bit of a corky just above the knee just before quarter time. Had a fair bit of treatment there at quarter time. He's going to start in the centre bounce, so just keep an eye on him in this quarter.
There's Mark McVeigh. Volatile player, I think. Is an apt description.
Winderlick going forward. He'll start in the goal square with Scotty Lucas.
Second term then at the MCG on a Sunday afternoon. Jackson. That ball's not coming out. He needs to be careful.
On the ball, dragged it in.
He hasn't been his afternoon so far, Daniel Jackson.
Lee Matthews made a very good point a few weeks back when he said players should watch Friday night. Not trying to drum up our audience, but because they realise what rules are in vogue for the weekend. As we said earlier, dynamite on holding the ball. Winderlick did well. The hand pass came over the top, intended for Davey. Nothing doing, though. Opportunity now for Ryder. That ball coming out from Edwards. Here's Cousins again, 13 possessions. Jackson held up, back to Cousins, knows where to go, can smell a kick as he goes down towards half forward, bounces in front of Revolt, clever by Dempsey. Well, not reading at Hurley, down with Nahas, taken by Hurley. Dempsey a half chance, stolen away Delidio. Cochin, can he get through? Puts the hand pass in front of Revolt, tries to keep it alive, goes back to Nahas. Nahas head down, hand passes towards goal, but the moment is lost. Dempsey, and storming up the ground, Stanton to Prismal.
So Prismal has had a lot of the ball wide today. Slattery back to Prismal and then back to McVeigh. Neat kick along the line. And Monfries, who presents very well, he's a leading forward, small leaning forward.
But they've done what they were trying to do, and that was to slow the Bombers up, not being able to come off half-back with too much speed.
So Dyson.
This is where they've been really impressive, the Tigers, manning up, making sure that they get a number or two back.
So I think Lucas the long target here, and he did well, Lucas. Sylvester went to ground, and Lucas held his. Now Davies going to the short target. Kicks to full forward. Lloyd's going to do the roving. Well done, Thursfield. Just got his mitt across in time. I think Lloyd was sensing a chance there.
Hasn't had a kick yet, Lloyd. He's had a couple of handballs, but not a strong start by his standards.
Reaching over the top, Ryder lays it down into the path of Winderlick. 15 metres out, gets the running goal. Bombers in front.
Having a terrific season. He had a wonderful game in the Dreamtime match against the Tigers earlier this year, Winderlick. 5 inside 50s that night, a couple of goals and 28 disposals. So 15 goals for the year for him, which is a career high. And Essendon back in front. Jackson, been so much a part of this game, Jackson. Welsh had to concede just a little bit of ground. Slattery did well. Watson, his hands normally good. That one, well, 50-50. Edwards has been impressive. Speaking of impressive, Cousins, Cochin. Now Jackson took his time, but McMahon on the wrong side for him. And Nahas was quick, but he couldn't quite take the mark. Dempsey, Morton, so a couple of tackles, one from the front and back. Brown and Morton combining.
Just watching Jackson go about his footy today, he just seems off. He's not having that afternoon or a game where you could say that he's sharp and that he's on. Everything that he's done so far has been below what we expected, the standard that he's set so far this year.
Well, he had an article in the paper today, and sometimes that can affect you, but I'm calling all right. Here's Nahas.
Dempsey. Cochin. Taken down by Watson.
There's another one in the record too today, Den. Brian Lake had an article.
How'd he go last night? I didn't see much of that.
Below his standards too, I reckon. Says something, I reckon.
Thank heavens for Bruce.
Oh.
Slattery, Fletcher, Stanton drives it across the outer side. Monfries in front, closing his Polo. Polo pushes off Monfries. Monfries has got him, holding the ball. Well done by Angus Monfries.
That's why the Bombers love this bloke. He's got the second and third efforts. Competitive.
Prismal, nice kick. What a beautiful kick. Only man a good mark, it was Lucas. It was punched away. Dyson now a chance. Coming through is Hurley, kicks inside the forward 50, reaching over the top. And going after the football again was Polo. Played it pretty well. Cochin created his own space. Brilliantly done. Cousins from behind. Goes back after the football. McPhee got a fist to it.
Smart.
That was clever. Delidio, Cousins. Now Brown. Brown about 70 metres out. Spots Nahas. White behind. Stanton arriving quickly. Nahas comes again. Lays it off to Revolt. Revolt. Open square. Kicks a goal.
A couple of times.
So the lead has changed hands on 6 occasions so early in this match. McVeigh and Cochin. Cochin and Pendlebury, they can find some time and space and don't look to be moving quickly, don't they?
It's almost Gary Ayres-like, just sweeping down the back line there.
So Tigers, with their noses in front. Newman got it from McMahon, wide. Revolt's kicked a couple. He's kicked 8 goals in his last 3 matches so far. He's doing well. Draws Cousins to him, and then Cousins going for the goal square. Almost a mark to post. Hurley did well, ran off him. And the kick to Stanton didn't quite stick. Pears. White trying to corral him back to Stanton. Really interesting stage in this match. Good kick, McVeigh. Dyson. Lovely kick. Well, Lucas should have gobbled it up. But he does put the tackle on. Monfree's help. Sylvester couldn't break clear.
No.
And Scotty can take a deep breath and say, I'm lucky.
Well, we'll see the replay just where he goes to take the mark. You see here? And he just looks away. Just that split second. He doesn't do that often.
No, he's made a living taking that mark. Down goes McVeigh. Cochin got him, and the umpire will do it again. Tigers by 3 points early going second term on Sunday footy. And this has got the makings, this one. One down by Vickery.
Oh. No.
Umpire wants it. Cochin the last man up.
Matty White yet to touch the footy, and Lloyd has only had a couple of handballs, so a couple of players not being able to find it.
McVeigh, they found him holding the ball.
Straight up.
Well,
Watch yourself.
that is amazing. McMahon feeds it forward. Here come the Tigers again. Cochin getting a feel for it now. What a beautiful kick. Revolt on the lead.
Wow. No, he disguised that beautifully, because I think a lot of the Bombers players thought that he was going to go long to the goal square, and he half pulled the kick. That's a correct decision, actually, because White had him taken. You see here, he almost winds up, and then he says, no, I'll just put it out in front, and Revolt would have just said, thank you. Because as soon as Trent Cochin gets it, you know that it's going to hit your laces out.
Ironic, really. That was the Bermuda Triangle for Revolt last week. The self-same position. He dropped the mark. Took that one. He misses. Well, maybe he would have done that last week.
Yes, and too close to the man on the mark then.
14 goals, 14 from set shots coming into this match. So he's 50-50. Got to improve that. He's a talent. He's going to be something, but should have nailed it.
Oh, wow.
Hurley got a second chance at the back. Terrific tackle from Post. And now Post and Edwards, they just had some confusion running over who should have gone for it. Hurley did well. Post, it'll be a ball up.
He was a good fly there. I think it was by Edwards. He got up. Oh, just fresh air, though. He's got to put his hands up.
So Hooker tapped it to himself. Love it. Belts it forward. Tambling, searching for it. Finding it now. Breaking the tackle. Has Watson with him. Well, Patterson probably the wrong guy to go to with a handball like that. Wasn't his fault, the big guy.
It's behind you.
So Tambling, Cousins going great guns. Tambling hasn't really sparkled yet. He was outstanding early last week, Tambling.
Yeah, been in good form. Pato goes after it. Watson close to the boundary line. Prismal just walks it across. Just for the moment, it seems the Tigers are more intense.
They can't get their running boots on at the moment. They get the ball, they're stagnant, and they've got no one coming from behind, and they haven't been able to own the corridor like they have in their previous outings.
Slattery, a high ball to the wing. Sylvester got a fist on it. Let's see if they can find their boots now, the Bombers. close to the line. Windelett comes back to McPhee, feeds it forward to Dyson. Dyson forced to kick with the right foot. As a result, missed the target, and it ricochets out of bounds. Good chase again to keep him on his right side. Dyson, a very left-sided player. No chance to get back on the left boot.
Run her out. Get out. Sorry, mate. No, throw it again.
The runner told to take off.
So he should.
Don't like him?
Oh, I just think there's too many people on the ground, full stop.
I saw you wrote that last week, wasn't it?
Oh, we just water boys and physios and doctors and runners and commentators and Ricky and
Ricky's okay.
No one covers the ground like he does.
I think he's down for an interview later today with Scott Camporelli. Last time they were that close, I think it ended in 4 weeks for one of them. We'll follow that with interest. We've got another ball up.
Well, the Bombers need the next goal, I reckon. The Tigers have been pushing and pushing and pushing, and they could really psychologically maybe make a big blow towards the Tigers outfit if they can get the next goal.
Delidio's got it, lays it off. McMahon now.
So a couple of their runners together, and here's a third one in Nahas. Lovett Murray with him. Back to McMahon. Back to Delidio. Not even Winderlick will catch Delidio, and then Delidio's long kick. Morton did really well there. Got over the back. Can he get it through? He's run down by Fletcher, and also getting back with him was Remus, and then Fletcher runs it over.
Pears was I think it was Pears. Yeah, it was Pears who went back. He was unbelievable. He gave them 10 metres and got there at the same time.
Exciting stuff. So Tigers are really pushing here. That's a lovely kick coming out of the back from Pears to Dyson.
Not sure if Dustin's pulled up that well after that little effort either. Maybe just a little bit tender.
Attending his boot.
Bit ginger.
Watson.
Ginger before he started then.
Remus. Back to Watson. Over the top. Prismal. Now McPhee decides against running at them, at least initially. Watson backs off as well. Hislop got him. Now Pears needs some strong action as he goes looking for Lucas, and Lucas takes a strong mark. Lucas wants to go back to Prismal. Prismal with the exquisite skills. That's it. Open the door. I'm out of here.
Did they do the article on you or on Bruce?
Why is it so?
That was funny then.
No, it wasn't, Bruce.
Here's Brown. Well, drop mark by post, could be costly. Love it. That's a clever kick. Davey, and then Davey down the line, and Lloyd, rather McVeigh. Well done by Thursfield, not to give a free kick away. I think the Bomber fans think he's a lucky Thursfield.
I reckon McVeigh's having a day like Jackson at the moment.
So Vickery and Hooker. Hooker's done pretty well with these clearances from these stoppages. Tambling. Now Cochin. Safe hands there. You reckon Brown normally a good user. Came back inside. Cochin runs hard. White, I don't think he's had a kick today so far. Well, he took forever. He gets a little bit on it. It bounces through for a goal. That is lucky.
Watch this. After the hard work from Cochin.
And here he is again.
They almost get him.
Well, he did get him. He's actually done it. His kick when he was almost on his back.
But there's get him, and they didn't get him. As King kicks it down towards half forward, the Tigers building again. Lovett Murray surrounds the football. Beckons someone to him. That's Stanton around the outer side. Then Remus in the red boots this afternoon. Runs to the wing. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. Coming up to meet it. Revolt knocked away by Davey. Revolt over the shoulder only as far as Lucas. Lucas looks inboard now, goes for distance. In best position down there, McVeigh. Had it knocked away by Newman. Opportunity in front for Tambling. Well trapped by Dyson. Back to McVeigh. Falling to the ground. Got nothing on it. Sylvester in trouble. Played it pretty well. Edwards Kept his head, but the ball bounces to Davey, who wishes it hadn't. And the air came out of the ball as Sylvester landed on the ball and Davey.
He needed that too. They needed to hold up the play because the Bombers were just about out. And as we said, Spike McVeigh is having one of those days. When he gets it, he gets smothered. It's just not his afternoon.
It was a real man hug, wasn't it? Sylvester and Davey, wow. Cochin, she's having a quarter Cochin. Brilliant to Nahas. Right now, even with a couple of little fumbles, they look the better side, don't they? Deledio back to Nahas. He had to backtrack. Fletcher corralled him, but he kept his call and found Patterson, who's presented a few times today. Goes long, post. Well done, McPhee. Brown is going to get a goal. And the Tigers are away. They're roaring now.
So what about these Tigers, eh? The last 5 scoring shots of the game for 3-2. 6-4 plays 3-5. And this is not something that Matthew Knights would have thought about coming in. His worst fear.
They've got to get on Ben Cousins because he's had 18 possessions already and it's only a quarter and a half old.
Watson to Stanton and a few others as well. Cousins early kept them in the game. Coming up is Lloyd. Monfries. Monfries goes back. Taken by Welsh, some hesitation, up on his toes, split the difference, went straight to Polo, who's taken down. You can't underestimate the value of number 9 there in the foreground, Trent Cochin. I don't think anyone felt, looking at all the first-year players last year, that he wasn't the best on what we saw, and he didn't play much. There's something about him that sets him apart. He's going to be an absolute star if he stays healthy, and that's been a problem. McVeigh got it out to Watson. Tambling gets through and he's away. Tambling a couple of bounces. The Tigers are irresistible. Who thought we would be saying that this afternoon? Tambling still going. Phil Manessa. He's inside the 50. Goes short. Revolt will line up from about 20 metres.
That's more impressive than having a shot.
Yeah, Phil kicked a goal.
That shows maturity and it shows that he's disciplined. He hasn't had a great afternoon so far. It shows that he's team focused, and I think that would be the most pleasing thing, not only for Richmond supporters, but more importantly for Jade Rawlings and the coaching staff. Well done.
Jack Revolt then, 2-1 this afternoon. Missed a mark that...
See how close he gets to the man on the mark.
Hurt the Tigers last week. Coming in at his 3rd goal. Puts it straight through the middle. Yes, you, sir.
Well, that was really smart work by the Richmond forwards. That was led by Brett Deledio. He actually called all the forwards to run to the goal square to clear that 50-metre arc and allow Tambling to run into that space and create that goal. So smart play by the Richmond forwards.
Bombers need a goal in a hurry. Revolt, for the 3rd week in a row, gets at least 3 in a match. Sitting on 3 here. 3, 3 and 3 the last 3 weeks for him. So Essendon certainly not out of it. Remember, the Tigers led by 7 goals last week at half-time, but not sure if they'll fall for that 2 weeks in a row. Brown got it from McMahon, and now Polo wide. It's been a very good week for Essendon so far before they played a game with Carlton losing and also Hawthorn, but they could really undo it here. Watson did well to Monfries, to McPhee, and this has been their problem about here throughout this quarter. Decision time now. Monfries goes in board. McVeigh.
They've won the battle here, though, the Tigers, because they've held him up once again.
Short to Slattery. He's still not in a scoring position. They might be after this kick. Monfries front spot. Brown went to ground, has to get it out, he does. Davey was getting involved, Dyson through the legs, Polo over the top, got it out. Well done, Watson, heavy traffic. Hurley, Davey, they've got him. Fantastic tackle. That's a big win for Richmond, isn't it?
They've got issues with their forward line at the moment, Bombers, because they're hesitant to go in long to Lloyd and Lucas because they haven't been, really on top of their game. They've had Hurley down there, they haven't gone to him. At the moment, they refuse to go long. For what reason? I don't know.
Here's White, got it from McMahon. Along the boundary with the kick. Guess who gets a fist on it? Fletcher does brilliantly. Gets it down to McPhee. Not a bad kick either. Newman reaching over the top, almost the mark for the Tigers. Stanton goes after him. Newman paddles it forward. Nahas. Was he legged? Was he necked? Doesn't matter. It's picked up there by Brown. Well, it does to some people. Comes across towards Jackson. Goes to half forward. Revolt hands to it. Can't hang on. It's out of bounds. Just going back to that last half chance the Bombers had. Davey is one of the few players, I'd suggest, David, that is better without the ball than he is with it.
Free kick at the bounce.
It's all about defensive pressure. Because when he's got the ball, he's not as dangerous.
No, it's probably a very valid point.
Cochin gets a free kick meantime. He's at right half forward. We like the cut of this boy's jib, Bruce.
He's been fantastic again today. Hasn't played a lot of footy yet in his 2 seasons, but he's something to savour, that's for sure.
Just on the last 2 attacks there by Jaden Post, he's got to realise that Dustin Fletcher has amazing closing speed. It'll come with experience, but he's got to, just because he can't feel him doesn't mean that he's not going to make up the ground.
So Cousins again, another clearance. Deledio. Deledio's left foot kick to centre half forward. Pears and Revolt, good contest. Prismal, Cochin worried him out of it. Morton coming in hard and then going to fall forward. Vickery and Post. Well done that time. Lovett Murray. Dempsey with pace. Gets through. Now you reckon they've got to take a chance here, the Bombers. Dempsey, well, he didn't use Remus. He's going to use him now. And the switch is on out wide. It's a long kick. It's a good kick.
Hey, free kick, free kick.
Well, it was a mark. So Welsh to Stanton, double jeopardy, but you don't get much out of it. Stanton long, Hurley on the lead. Good effort by Thursfield. Dyson and Polo close on it. And Newman, well, he kept it in. White, Lloyd's got hold of him.
So, in the last 10 minutes or so, it's been all Tigers, so much so they've doubled Essendon's score.
Just haven't got an answer at the moment, the Bombers, when they go inside 50. Lovett's loose on half forward. If they can get the ball out of this clearance, they'll have a loose player.
Ball runs free at the back. Hurley lays it off. Watson, a fumble. Jackson drives it beyond Nahas. Nahas and Lovett. This will be interesting. Nahas foxed him early, then accelerated away and finds a teammate in Deledio. We said it last week. Smart Nahas.
He did. He played dead. He pretended that he wasn't actually as quick as Lovett, and you'll just see he just uses his body. Clever.
Lovett.
Too many winners at the moment, the Tigers, Den.
No. Lovett thought he had him covered for speed, but Nahas was holding a bit back. And as a result, Deledio gets the goal. He's the beneficiary.
Well, they're making all the running. They led 10 goals to 3 at halftime last week and couldn't win Richmond. And in the Dreamtime match, they led by 16 points at halftime and got rolled by 40.
I reckon Jade Rawlings at halftime will have a different speech prepared to that of last week.
But they've got themselves into a very good spot again, and Lloyd knows that, like the other Bombers. Watson and Cousins. Oh, well done by Patterson, who's been terrific so far. It was he that put the tackle on Davey about 3-4 minutes ago. Deledio's been busy. Here's King. Can he use it? He goes inside the 50. Post and Lovett Murray. Good mark.
Oh, well done. Post has been outbeaten a couple of times, but he brought that one to ground before for Nathan Brown, so he could score a goal. He'll learn.
So Lloyd, I think that's his first kick.
Yep.
In the back half. Good mark by Hooker. He wanted to go. Uses McPhee. They need a goal.
McPhee runs it down towards right half forward on the lead. Winderlick. Too far out to score. Looks to the middle. Wants Ryder. Hits him.
Yeah. And when he kicks this one down, let's follow it all the way through.
Winderlick wants the lead. Ryder comes to him as scripted. Okay, Paddy Ryder. His side in desperate trouble at the moment. And perhaps with that trouble, their hopes of the finals dissipating. It needs an accurate kick.
He's down on his numbers too. They had the 5 touches.
Kick is on its way, and it's good. Gets his first goal.
So a real boost to the Bombers here with a late goal, but plenty of time for one at the other end and maybe one for the Bombers. So as Ox said, next couple of minutes vital here. Worked hard the Tigers to get that lead. Prismall off balance. King. Slattery, well done. Got him.
This is Jake. Right, you've got the free. Him up.
Well, this is Essendon's chance here.
Yeah, and I don't think Jake King knew that he actually had someone behind him, like a talk there by the Tigers midfield.
So Dyson uses Stanton. They've come wide, but it's okay. Love it. And love it with a little one inboard, and Stanton, well, he shielded it a bit. I mean, halfway through that kick, it was 50-1 that Stanton was going to take the mark.
That was terrific.
He kicked it to the spot. He knew where Stanton was going to be, but it was whether the Tigers defenders were going to read it as well as he was. They didn't. It's a good mark, though, isn't it, under enormous pressure?
Now,
got to kick this.
He's normally a good kick, Stanton. This would be a massive boost to Essendon. Yeah. He leant back, and it was a lazy kick, to be honest.
All their shots at goal have been like that, though. Even Paddy Ryder's 2 kicks, they're just very laconic and not their normal kicking action.
He knows.
Yep.
He would have been handy, though. Still, eminently gettable a margin. A lot less, I'd say, than last week from memory. We'll check that, but Newman kicks to himself. They're down by 22 points. Rebolt was up. Welsh got the crumb. Lloyd into Myans. Good kick. Watson was totally unaware of Cochin bearing down. Dempsey. Prismall. Welsh. Still plenty of time. Slattery. 25 seconds remaining. McPhee runs to 50. Lines up. Oh, that slays the Tiger. That really hurts.
Game on. Gee, those last 2 goals are super important for the Bombers' confidence going in at half-time, and the doubt will be now coming into Richmond's head after what happened last week. But, gee, it was just a sweeping play. They had players coming from behind. We haven't seen it all afternoon from the Bombers. They had 3 players lined up. It snuck in. That's an important blow there that McPhee's just delivered to the Tigers.
And Dennis made the call. There was plenty of time, and they played it that way. They didn't panic, did they? No. Set it up. Well, what an important minute and a half that's been for Essendon. They've got right back here. This is the same margin that it was at half-time earlier this year in the Dreamtime game. They trailed by 16, the Bombers, and kicked 12 goals to 3 after half-time. So the Tigers right now lead it, but you'd reckon it's the best 50-50 game you'd see right now, 36-52. It's about where it should be for 50-50.
Well, the Bombers have had 200 possessions. Tigers have only had 170. So they have been very wasteful. We spoke about them overusing the footy in the first quarter. The Bombers, their last couple of efforts going forward have been very good.
So Lloyd, who got busy late. So half-time here, set up perfectly, you'd think, for what should be a very, very interesting and close match. At half-time, Richmond lead Essendon by 16, 52-36 on Sunday footy. Obvious, but they'd love a scalp here. And they've got a chance again, as they did last week, Ox, where they led by 7 goals at half-time over North, and it finished up all square.
Well, they'll be addressing that. They'll be making sure that they changed up. There's Joel Bowden. He'd love to be out there, and Dennis brought up before, why isn't he out there? Well, many asked that question because he's been such a great player.
Hasn't he?
There's no doubt that he's...
Twice best and fairest.
Yep. There's no doubt that he's in their best 22. Yeah. But obviously, looking forward, maybe not.
Speaking of being in the best 22, Matthew Richardson. Certainly that's at half-time here. It's 5 goals, 6-8-4, 36-52, a 16-point margin at half-time. Tigers over the Bombers.
A bit of oil on there. Richo expected back maybe next week. Danny, is that what you're hearing?
Heard the same thing, yes.
Half-time here, 5-6-8-4. Tigers lead it by 16 points.
Just about set for the start of the second half then. Those 2 late goals could be telling factors in the outcome of this game.
Lucas one out in the 50 for the Bombers.
Over the top, Ryder hooks it down into the path of Stanton. Standing his ground was King. Vickery, Hislop's got it. Taken down by Lovett. Joining the pack was Winderlick. Let's go down to Ricky on the boundary. Rick?
Well, 2 Essendon players didn't come out with the team, Dennis. Matthew Lloyd, he's actually out there now, but he looks very proper. The other one's Andrew Welsh. Appears he's got a left hamstring problem. So watch out for him to see whether he does come back on or not.
Vickery getting a free kick.
Yeah, Matthew Lloyd can barely run. He'll be coming off. It's well picked up, Rick. Just watching him take off there, he looked very proppy.
Cousins, another possession, centred down to the 50. Fletcher gets away from post, drives it around the outer side. In front, Monfries hasn't been a factor. Polo goes after the football, took an eternity, leaving without it Ryder. Out of there by King to, I think it was Edwards who kicked it down towards the pocket. It bounces around and goes out of bounds.
He'll be off. He'll be coming off very shortly. He's carrying his right leg. He's looking over at the bench. Wouldn't be surprised if he's off within 1 or 2 minutes.
So Watson to Lovett Murray to Stanton. And now Monfries. So Lloyd is about 60 metres from this kick. Just interesting now. He's going to get involved here. McPhee will use him. So Lloyd, who certainly is hobbling, and then off one step to Lucas. Good kick. And Lucas wheels around. He's got Remus one out and Davey. This is a chance. Remus front spot. Davey front and square. Terrific fist away though. Thursfield. Dyson's within range. Leans back. It's close. It's good. They've kicked 3 in a hurry. 2 in the first, 1 in the second.
The old firm. Lloyd getting it to Lucas, not generally the way, and they went directly at goal, something they didn't do in the first half. Need more of the same. Vickery goes up, beaten again by Ryder, just hanging in the air. Davey, Watson goes back to Lovett. Lovett, the U-turn will come across the ground to McPhee. Now they're breaking to this open side. Running hard is Dyson. The second lead, Monfries. You can see Monfries still going in the background. Little chip pass goes to him now, but the moment it was passed, it was too long because Monfries kept on leading and brought himself outside range as he kicks towards Davey. Davey, no chance in there. Drew 3 bombers to him, rather. Close to the line, swinging a boot at it, Remus. From behind. Well, Davey, the meat and the sandwich, but the Bombers had players on the ground who realised what was going to happen next.
It's amazing. The Bombers in their first 23 entries in, they've got 3 goals. In their last 5, they've got 3 goals. So if you're going with speed and you're going with precision, the chances of scoring a goal are so much greater.
Oh, love it! Yes, we do. A hanger to Watson, to Winderlick. And then Winderlick to Lovett Murray. And Lovett Murray goes. That's a free kick against Monfries.
Didn't make contact with the footy.
Listen, mate, it's a medal contest. No.
It's a big call. Because Lovett Murray kicked it. That takes a little bit of the wind out of your sails. That's a wonderful mark by Lovett.
It's a beautiful grab.
That's his spot out there, isn't it?
Yep.
Centre wing of the MCG.
See the other thing he does very well? Kick the footy.
Yep. I think Monfries knew what he was doing. Big leap at the back from Revolt. In front, McPhee fed it. Forward pairs. Advantages paid to the Bombers. Taken by Winderlick. Does he get another chance? He may. No, Lovett Murray dropped the mark. Taken by Monfries. Over the shoulder. Lucas will kick it. Lucas snaps a goal.
Well, what did Essendon address at half-time? I had a chance to talk to that man, Simon Madden, former legend of the club, about Essendon's woes in the first half. He said what they need to do is repossess the corridor, because what Richmond are trying to do is slow them down and push them wide. That's what they would have focused on at half-time.
And it's working right now. Newman, the captain, well done. To Hislop, to Jackson. He's had an ordinary afternoon. That's a lot better now.
Well, despite kicking the goal, he's off the ground, at least for the moment, Jackson. who left the ground very early in the first term as well. The doctor is out with Lloyd.
Just looking at Lloyd, the way he's carrying that leg, I reckon it's like a sciatica nerve where you're kind of dragging the leg.
Can't help you.
Never had a sciatic problem?
No. It's coming.
Yeah, well,
in the middle, knocked down by the big fella Ryder again. That leap is proving very impressive there in the middle. Welsh on his knees. McMahon got it out. Vickery tried to give it to Deledio. McPhee missing it. Winderlick virtually. May have just got a knuckle to it. Tambling went back and they work it away again. Newman gave it to Cousins. Bounds down the broadcast side. That's a good kick too. Setting it up for Revolt. Revolt, the big leap. Now he's suffering re-entry trauma. This ball is about 30 metres out. Slattery, Presmall, fumble from Dempsey. Trying to force his passage there as Brown. Taken down by Dempsey. And we'll have a ball up.
Winderlick, you don't often see this, but that is just an absolute shocking handball.
Again, Ryder over the top. Brown off the ground. Now Lovett Murray couldn't get control of it. Handball back. Stanton did well. He got his head down low. Welsh back out there, but turned it over to post.
It's touched. It's play on.
You heard the umpire, so post off one step to full forward. Revolt's going to mark it unopposed.
Gee, he flies it a footy well. He's not worried about any opponent or any other person. He knows what he can do and he goes for it.
It's been a good weekend for Revolt, hasn't it?
I'll say.
5 last night, 3 so far today.
The flying Revolts.
He doesn't mind the left foot. He's not good at it, but he doesn't mind it.
You dug the hole. We weren't going to get you out of it.
Bruce, I'm still digging out of the exquisite skills of Brent Presmall.
Oh, that was an hour ago. A lot happens in an hour, Dan.
Yeah, that's true. Ox comes along.
Yeah, I'll help you out, don't worry.
Dempsey in the back pocket then. Good game brewing at the MCG. Here he is, the man of the exquisite skills. Goes short. That's better. Pears. Encore. Hurley. Right half back, very short, not 15. Momfries has got it right at the gates. Back to Presmall. Presmall, cleverly. Hurley. Hurley looks down towards half forward. Goes looking for Davey over his head. Strong tackle. Edwards eventually released the football. Then goes again and is going to get a free kick from the back.
Sorry, your kick.
Just McPhee just went forward. Players today, though, what they do is they propel themselves forward and draw a free kick from the umpire.
Edwards down towards half forward. Vickery should mark this. Taylor made for him. Cruising past is Cotchin. Here's trouble. Cotchin. Oh, beautiful. Morton's got it.
He looks as natural. He'll play on here, but he looks as natural on the left as he does on the right.
Beautiful player, Cotchin. Vickery. That will be a combination for years to come. Tigers fans would hope. And Morton, as we said, a wonderful pickup from the West Coast Eagles. Over 30 goals this season. One sense is he'll head right here and try and hook it a little bit. There he goes. He certainly did. Not a good effort.
So Revolt missed everything a moment ago from a difficult one, I know, and then Morton's missed a gettable. A couple of chances gone begging, but they've steadied here, Richmond, after the Bombers got to them in a hurry, didn't they?
Well, that last passage of play, the one where Hurley had a couple of kicks, out wide, slowed up, exactly what Wayne Campbell was talking about a quarter time. That's their intent. Simon Madden was talking about getting through the corridor, playing on, and whoever is able to execute what they're trying to achieve will get the points.
So they backtrack for the moment, the Bombers, and then Remus. This is a dangerous kick to Pears. Well done to Ledio. Well,
Brett just saw it as a contested the ball. Both going the ball.
You heard the explanation.
He's had a good afternoon. He's had 14. Cousins the leader on 21. Sitting on the bench, worn out. So
Patterson and Ryder. Patterson terrific to Jackson. And scrambling through for a behind. And Patterson's played pretty well. Ryder's had a very good start to this term. So down the centre to Pears.
Looks to the outer side. Now this will be interesting. Lovett Murray, not much on. Lovett offers. Cruising past though is Remus. Carries the ball up towards the wing and kicks beyond it. Intended target Lucas. Sylvester got it on the ground. as if he was frisking him. Scotty Lucas holding the man eventually. They was slapping him, hands on the bonnet.
Let it go.
Sylvester's got the footy. Jackson, centre half back, nobody near him. Nahas wants it inside the centre square. Cruising past Jackson. Nahas decides against going back. Spears a pass in. Deledio, moments ago, should have got a free kick, didn't. Kicks inside the forward 50, well, almost. And Morton on a searching lead. He sustained that run from the goal square to take the mark. That was terrific.
We said that about Revolt before, that he gets to the right spot at the right time. This bloke does too. He can read the play as well as anyone up the ground. And he just went, he held, and then he took off. Hurley's not slow, and he found 5 metres on him very quickly.
Mitch Morton, this will test him. He'll kick from just outside the 50. Gets underneath it, gives it a ride. Hasn't got the carry, not quite. Right on the goal line. It's fisted across.
He looks so disinterested when he's got the footy, Morton. He just casually walks in.
So Lovett Murray from Fletcher to Prismal. Back to Lovett Murray. Nahas puts the tackle on. Hurley, Stockton propped. Hooker probably took a ball that was meant for Prismal. They've worked it okay here. Back to Hurley. Prismal very clever there down the line. Pears, who likes to get off and get running along a wing. And now boundary throw in. So this has really settled in, hasn't it, for what should be a great finish.
Couldn't draw it up any better.
The underdog a couple of goals up. And the favourites looking ominously close in terms of momentum. Here's Davey and Cousins. Guys like Davey weren't even thought of when Cousins started.
May have been thought of, Bruce, but hadn't been acted upon. Boundary throw in, left half forward. Patterson in front, reaching over the top. Hooker, there he is again. Cousins tambling, that was clever, delayed the release. Cochin is through. 12 points up the Tigers. They led by 16 at half-time. Hislop simply fell over. Ball rolls inside the front 50 for the Tigers. Slattery got it from McVeigh. Prismal across to Fletcher. This kick down towards the attacking 50 for the Bombers. Well done by Jake King. Bought McGuan a bit of time, then receives the footy, goes across the ground. Patterson stretches, takes the mark. Nothing much on. McMahon did well though, demanded the footy, kicks inside the 50 for his side. Hurley came up, spilled it. Dempsey getting so much of it. Lovett Murray. This game suddenly has opened up. Reamers goes long. Lucas will mark it. Well, should have. Hands to it, couldn't hang on. You got the separation. Out of defence, a magnificent kick across the ground at post. Now an opportunity for Cousins. Coming up. And losing the footy, Hislop. Winderlick went back. Now they work it away. Watson to Fletcher. That was good footy. Lucas down towards the attacking 50.
Running hard here, the Bombers. Hooker. And then Hooker keeps it low. Good kick to Lovett.
And lots of fortune too, because Scotty Lucas was coming off the ground. And just before the interchange race, he gets a nice... Well, there's a nice... Oh, there's a push in the back and a hit in the head at the same time. And he got lucky because he took the mark before he went off, and then he was able to hit the target.
Kicked a couple of goals in the Dreamtime match, Lovett. Most of his goals on the run this year. He's about 50-50 from set shots. That looks good.
Well, Matthew Lloyd has real issues, and Ox, I reckon he might be on the money there. He might have some tightness through the glutes, some sciatica, and he keeps looking over at the bench. He had a couple of visits from Paul Wise, the physio, and Doc Reed as well. Also, Richard Tantley's just gone off the ground up the race, so I'll get back to on that injury as well, boys.
Slattery got it from Watson, breaks a tackle, hand passes forward, taken by Reamers, swings it wide, Prismal. Prismal inside the forward 50. Montfrey's in front. Davey the leaper from behind. Tracks it on the ground. Goes back across towards Reamers. Ricochets towards Winderlick. Strong tackle got him down. Reamers goes after the football. Certainly the Bombers now playing as if a place in the top 8 is on the line. And it is. We've got a bounce about 30 metres out, directly in front. That last goal really gifted to them by that turnover in the middle from the Tigers. I mentioned a good kick coming out. Well, it was by Edwards, but they made nothing of it. Edwards back in defence now, playing on Davey. Stanton, hand passes back towards the 50. Love it. Davey once more, arches the back, couldn't get away. Slattery on the perimeter, goes short. Was it 15? No. Lloyd plays on, hand passes to Stanton. High ball, Moncrief. A goal will level it.
We'll know exactly how bad Matthew Lloyd is if he gets a shot around about 40 metres. Here we go.
He sets it up to the middle. Hooker in best position. In from the side, Patterson. Wonderful balance, Hooker. Prismal slips it wide. Taken there by Slattery. Comes back. A torpedo from Fletcher. Down towards full forward. Oh, terrific defence. Polo.
Wow. That's courageous.
He was last man standing. It was a great effort because the Bombers were in the box seat. McMahon's kick. Oh, wonderful mark. That's a good spot out there for that. That's Morton this time. Gee, this match right on the knife edge now. You just wonder if Essendon keep this sort of footy up, whether Richmond can go with them. Because the Bombers have lifted. Davey on the burst. Love it. He's gone forward. Free kick.
Back here, Jake. Back here. Jake.
He's going to ping him 50 there.
So Andrew Lovett, who kicked a goal, the last goal of the match.
He kicks it well and he kicks it long, and he'll probably fancy his chances from here.
Let's see. On the run, you'd back him for sure. 50 out. High, long, straight. He's put them in front.
What a remarkable transformation. 24 minutes ago in game time, the margin was 29 points the Tigers' way. It's amazing how better teams can do this against lowly placed teams, find something when they need to. It's now with the Tigers. Can they wrest back control? Lovett ran into a dead end. Delidio hasn't done a lot. Edwards out of the middle. Poor kick. Reaching back for it. McVeigh got fingertips to it. Running onto the loose ball is Brown to Hislop. Can he kick a goal against his old team, rather? He misses.
Let it go, boys. Let it go. Save your money, boys, and let it go.
So Jake King drawing a crowd. So Dempsey getting around. Lovett Murray arching and getting away from Patterson. And then running into a bit of strife. Lucas, now Pears. Dyson's on the lead. Important ball this. If McMahon goes to ground, he's in trouble.
Free kick.
Well, he had to hold him up there. Can he get it over the back to Reimers? That's where he's going. Reimers, yes!
Good. Party time. That's just... He knew exactly what he was doing there. He flew, he kept control of the footy. This is just a hit on Jackson, who's pulled up a little bit ginger. Speed of the ball through the air. He knew. Absolutely. Had eyes on the footy the whole way through that. He's a young talent, this one, Bruce. He's got enormous presence. Quick.
He's got attitude, hasn't he?
Yeah, I like him.
Well, they need this. And he's got it. And the Bombers lead it by a goal.
Boys, I mentioned Richard Tamley went for a visit to the medical room. He's back. He's out there lining up on the wing. Just pinched his ankle, had it re-strapped. Also, Matty Lloyd, I reckon, is getting worse, boys.
What happens when you got a stiff back? If that's what it is.
6 points the difference. Well, you've gone with the diagnosis early. Robert Murray, Slattery, Welsh comes away. One-way traffic at the moment. Out wide, Stanton runs onto it, feeds a hand pass back. McVeigh looking towards half forward. It was touched off the boot, ricochets to Welsh. Still Welsh, but he coughs it up. Hislop falling to the ground. Oh, well done by Newman. Into the path of Revolt. If ever they needed a goal, Revolt snaps and puts it through. He's got 4.
So 4 to Revolt. Gee, Newman's kicked the ball beautifully today, but not the first time there.
Some tired boys out there.
Well, all square. Tigers know what that's like at the MCG.
Wow.
Up we get. Hey,
Gee, Jake King's got a number on his back right now, hasn't he?
Bullseye.
So wide he goes. Tambling, who, as Ricky told us, had a little ankle problem a moment ago. And then Tambling leans back. Good kick to post.
Ooh. This kid's got a future too. He jumps well at it. He's just going to get the speed of the game right. I reckon sometimes he thinks he's got more time and space than what he has. But he jumps well at the footy. Young Richo.
Yeah.
At times.
Well, he hasn't kicked a goal yet. He's had a few shots. He's kicked 0-2 from set shots. And career right now, he's sitting at no goals and 5 behinds.
That's not a good sign when you're not looking at the goals when you're walking in.
Well, here's the moment. He's in the Jimmy Bartell pocket. And he's kicked it beautifully. Post suddenly turns it into a goal.
See, they've done well. They booted the last 2 goals, in danger about 5 minutes ago of getting overrun. They've responded in the best possible way. Some swelling on that left knee of Matthew Lloyd. Meantime, back in the middle, Welsh digs it out. Oh, terrific tackle by Heslop. Jarred the ball free from Lovett. Now an opportunity for White around the outer side. White, the long kick, a telling one inside the forward 50. Bounces on its point. Dempsey tries to find a way through. Reebok got him, holding the ball.
Great effort. He's working hard. He's really working hard. He saw the gap too, didn't he, Dempsey?
Yeah. That's a great tackle.
Lloyd's knee, there it is. Swelling. Don't know if you get that from a sciatica, but we'll say yes at this stage.
Right behind Revolt. And he's got it. Equals his career best. He's got 5 of the best.
Well, the Cousins have got 10 between them this weekend. Nick Revolt on this one, Jack on a career high. So look at those disposals. Double for the Bombers this quarter, but the Tigers have kicked 3 goals from their last 9 disposals. And they've got their tails up. Cochin, oh, well done, Vickery. Oh, very well done, big fella. Don't run out of ideas now. Goes to full forward or in the front. Tamlin. Well, he couldn't quite do a Stevie Mill. He tried. Gee.
Well, I thought it was Kevin Bartlett coming through there.
How good was Vickery a moment ago?
Just only a little bit of difference with KB.
Lovett Murray around the outer side. Yes, the hair. Stavens got it. Thor to the wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. Lucas the target. Reaching over the top. Sylvester. Hooker finds a way through. Winderlick. Misses.
Should have had a shot, Hooker.
Yep.
We've seen that this weekend too, haven't we? With Kennedy giving it off to Franklin.
Gee, the game's on. Tambling. Tigers meeting every challenge at the moment. Admirable. Here's Polo. Deep in his own defence. Had some thrillers this weekend. And this one could rival them. Poor kick. Hut in the mouth stuff. McGuan did okay though. Sylvester, some hesitation. Now he runs. Kicks towards the outer side wing. Guess who? Revolt. He's repaying that debt from last week.
Matty Lewis just come from the ground then.
Play on, you're off your line. Play on.
Polo. Falling to the ground, back to Revolt. Revolt, centering kick. Hislop, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Welsh on his knees. Goodbye Watson, into the path of Lovett. Still Lovett. Over the football, over him was Brown, crashing into Ledio.
Oh, no.
Just dived on it.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
Straight back on the full.
Well, we've said all day. It really has been a focus since Friday night, and Brown takes the mark. 25 metres out, slight angle.
Coming in for his 13th possession. He hasn't had a huge day. Just have a look at this decision. Oh. I don't think he dived on it. They're red hot, though. You're right, Dan. That Friday night, that is where the standard is set for the whole weekend.
Here's Brown, suddenly to break it open again. Oh, that's a bad miss.
It's uncharacteristic too. He's normally a pretty good shot at goal.
Yeah, you back him normally. Maybe the older you get, the more nervous you get with those little ones. I think Tom Watson might attest to that. Speaking of Watson, well, what a terrific third term. I mean, Essendon looked like they'd blow the Tigers away. They caught them, they got in front, but Richmond came back hard and kicked the last three. And it was well set up at half-time. It's, oh, look at that. Equally well set here up at three-quarter time. It's 69-81 on Ouch Sunday Footy. Big quarter for Andrew Lovett. That was a specky, and then he kicked a couple of goals to put the Bombers in front. And he only did it once, but boy, it's worth looking at a couple of times. Terrific mark to Lovett. So have a look at the tail of the tape at the bottom there. Essendon charged back to the lead, but Richmond rested it back and lead by 2 at three-quarter time. 12-9, 10-9. Gee, Ricky, a lot to talk about from Essendon's point of view with the injuries, etc.
Yeah, that's right, Mac. And I've got Scott Camperale, who's the assistant coach of Essendon. She's the Tiger that set you blokes a big challenge in this last quarter.
Yeah, they have. They've been terrific. You know, their pressure and the way they've used the ball has been fantastic. But, you know, we swayed it back and just let slip the last couple of minutes there.
So what's Matty Knight's talking about now? Is he talking about playing the ball through the corridor?
Yeah, we need to push the ball a bit. We've been going a bit sideways, but we saw in that quarter, once we got it in deep, you know, we're a real chance to score, so we'll be doing that.
We're talking about one of your key forwards, Matty Lloyd. He's on one leg. There's a fair bit of conjecture about the injury. Will he be seen in this last quarter? And if so, what sort of way will you use him?
If he comes back on, we'll have to play him deep, you know, at this stage, yeah, so he's not moving that well, but we'll wait and see whether we use him or not. Hopefully we won't have to.
Go on, mate, get back in the box. Boys, I can actually update you on that injury. It's not sciatica, it's not a swollen knee, it's actually a bruised heel, and that's the reason why Matty Lloyd can't put any weight to that leg at all.
What do you reckon, Rick? Has he got anything left in him for this match?
Well, I think the only way they can play him, Mac, is they actually play him deep. He's coming off the ground now, his boots off, so we won't see him in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I reckon that's why he came out late at half-time. He's probably getting an injection into that heel. He's with Doc Reed now. He'll head down to medical room, but I think the only way we'll see him is they play him out of the goal square.
Well, Dr. Schwartz up here has put on his gauze mask.
Hey, you know it's all connected, Dan.
I know. Interesting, too. Back in round one, we saw that interview there between Ricky Olorenshaw and Scott Camperale. Rick got 4 weeks for hitting stroke bumping, Scott, back in 97 to start the season.
Rick did?
Yeah, what a miscarriage, eh? It's Papillon-esque.
4 weeks. The brute of a man he is.
He was a rough, tough hombre. Scott.
Hislop's gone into the middle for the Tigers with Vickery, Delidio and Cochin. And Lovett, Winderlick, Ryder and Watson in for the Bombers. So the Bombers, they need this clearance, and they've been able to do that in the first term and the start of the third. Huge clearance this first one. They've got to get themselves into the game. First goal would just put the doubt in the mind of the Tigers.
Final term of the MCG Sunday football. Good bounce. Well, getting his right hand to the ball was Ryder. That was rather strange. Not his intention initially. Holding the ball is the call.
Free kick, Essendon. Let it go.
Lovett gets the free, plays on immediately. Powers out towards the wing. Kicks down towards half forward. Sylvester battles with Lucas, and Lucas will get a free. Back-to-back free kicks. Could pull the Bombers back to within 6 points.
The advantage he's got here, Scotty Lucas, he's played that much footy. If you're in the front position, you're half a chance to get a free kick.
Shades of the opening term. Now Lucas from right on the 50 gives it a ride. Close behind. No doubting the free kick was there as well. Let's get down to Ricky.
Just a bit more on Matty Lloyd. The tracky top is on, and he is gone for the game, boys. So Essendon have to win this game without him.
So 11 points the margin. It's going to be fascinating to see how Richmond plays this out, whether they continue to attack.
They've got to attack. If they put the cue in the rack, they'll get beaten.
Delidio, good start here now. Morton Looks up, not a great handball. Cochin and Cousins have been terrific. Cousins probably should have given the little one to Cochin going past. Fletcher, Slattery, short. Winterlick, he'll be important in the last quarter. That's not a good kick. King's been combative as usual. Deledio, his run and carry just vital here. Short kick to Brown. Got into a move early to Cousins inside the 50. Can he bring it back? It's coming to Revolt again.
He's lining this MCG up here this afternoon.
Well, it's a breakout nature. I mean, he's teased for a couple of seasons. This is his first match, you'd reckon, where he's really making a huge stamp on a game.
And it's obvious his work rate's there. He's actually going at the footy, and if he's not getting it, his second and third efforts have been outstanding.
Well, he could be the match when he's the first Tiger this year to kick 6 in a match.
What a day for him. 6 goals. He's been terrific. A focal point on the forward line. And these Tigers, well, they've got the run. They're out by 17 points. They were sluggish to start. Maybe a little post-dramatic stress. But suddenly, they really are the team to catch.
Oh, no one dived on it. Fine.
They found some form midway through the opening term and haven't looked back. Despite being passed in the third term, I don't think they've ever had any self-doubt this afternoon. Can they press on from here? Ryder wins it down. Cousins spins out of trouble. 26 possessions for Cousins. Releases Tambling. Tambling kicks it out wide, and the mark is taken by White, who wants to go. White runs down towards right half forward. Some indecision. Now he goes back to Brown. Brown looks inside the forward 50, then takes something off the kick. Edwards taken down strongly. In goes McGuan. Immediately taken by Hooker, and love it. And we'll have a bounce about 60 metres out from goal. It goes without saying Essendon can do with the next goal.
Well, they need someone to spark. They need one of their leaders to step up here and get their hands on the footy.
Cochin did well, found some space, kicks to about 40. Revolt again, back turn terrific, goes to post. Post leans back, looking good. Oh, if the future's right there, it's looking so sweet now.
He's got his work cut out, Matty Knights.
The old Tiger. Only 2 players. Wayne Campbell, we spoke with him earlier today, and Matthew Richardson. We looked inside his house. We've played more games for the Tigers. And right now, they're causing him a lot of concern. Down goes Lovett Murray.
There's been a couple of ex-Tigers coach against... A couple of ex-Tigers coach for the Bombers. And, well, it's interesting. Very interesting at the moment.
Edwards found a way through. Well, almost Davey was lurking just off the pack and nabbed him.
Straight back. Straight back.
Yeah,
straight
when you go back
Davey.
over the years, gee, how many? Close to 30 that Essendon have been coached by former Tigers. Here's Ryder. He's about 55 metres out.
He can't make it, surely.
Not now. Kicks it long down towards full forward. Lurking behind, a chance for Hurley. Falls to Monfries. Monfries slips a hand pass away. Was that in the back? Apparently not. At the base of that pack, I think it's Dempsey.
He didn't push him in the back. He just went to ground. There was no forward momentum.
There's a justification.
Thanks, Nate.
So Ryder and Vickery. Ryder brings it back. Jackson gets it out. Dyson attacking. He's a long kick. He decides to do the team thing. Goes to full forward. Good kick. And Stanton read it beautifully.
Such a clever kick too. He had every right to actually go for goal, but as you said, Bruce, did the team thing, centred it. I don't know what White was doing, but he was totally outpositioned by Stanton.
Second clever mark he's taken inside 50 today, but he missed the last. Just has to kick this.
Oh, no.
He's missed it.
Oh, no.
Well, you just don't know if they can win today.
Well, not when you're missing 25 metres out directly in front. And he's a pretty reliable kick.
Yep. Kicked some terrific goals, mainly on the run, hasn't he, throughout his career? So the captain in his 150th to himself and then goes long.
Towards the outer side then.
It's Jason
Deledio, the Spring Hill Jack, takes the mark. 10 metres in from the line.
Play on.
Will go for distance, and why not? Kicks beyond the wing. Nahas again fighting out of his division, almost the mark, and Vickery was the rover. Hand pass to Morton, who kicks it down towards full forward. Punch towards the line, and out of bounds.
How did he even get a hand on that, Robbie Nahas? He flew in amongst two giants, compared to him. Nearly took it.
Vickery taps it down, follows up his own ball. What to like about this young man?
Advantage.
Advantage is paid, though. Lovett in short. Winderlick back to the run, and Lovett run down brilliantly. Deledio.
He's the quickest man on the planet, Brett Deledio, when he's up and going.
Newman out wide. Nahas over the top. Polo sold into trouble. Fights off Ryder. Back to Nahas. 60 metres out. Steps a couple. 55 metres from goal. Pears almost tackled in midair. And he's going to get the free kick. And just as well. And just going back to those games played for Richmond, of course, talking about contemporaries of Matthew Knights. We haven't forgotten KB and Jack Dyer and Francis Burke. A few there.
So Slattery. There's no wriggle room now for Essendon, is there? They can't afford another goal, you would think. You were here yesterday for a dramatic finale, Dennis, but just feel if the Tigers get one more, it'll be one too many.
I think you're right, Bruce.
Lovett coming off too, looking very sore and sorry for himself also after that tackle in the centre of the ground.
I reckon if I was a Tiger supporter, I'd love Lovett off the ground right now, because he's the guy that can carry the footy. And he's having that spell. Prismal down the line. Now Hooker will kick it to Ryder.
Good kick.
And Ryder
Next game.
goes long. Stanton provided a good kick this one. Well, didn't go in the end, Lucas. I thought Hurley was in the box seat. Hurley gets a second crack. Sylvester over the top. Davey. Oh, he was pulled back.
Hurley and Lucas.
Let's go down to, sorry, down to you, Ricky.
Thanks, Macca. There's the injury there when Deledio ran down Andrew Lovett. He's right there. He's giving him problems. He's now had a bit of a walk around the boundary. He looks very sore. Doc Reed checked it structurally. Looks okay, but he looks pretty sore at the moment. Give him a few minutes.
In front, Ryder.
Uh-oh, no, don't
Vickery,
go there.
no, can't do it. Took clean possession.
Took it out of the ruck, didn't get a handball.
It's not a bad ploy, though, by the Bombers. They just played off Vickery and hoping that he'd do that. Might not have been like that.
He's very athletic, though, isn't he? I mean, great upside.
He's got a big future. I don't know if the hair will last that long, but he'll be around longer than it will be.
When he clashes with Nat Nui in the next 5 or 10 years, it'll be something, won't it?
Oh, some hairy moments. So, Ryder with a lot riding on this kick, not just this afternoon. It's got implications for the next 5 weeks. Ryder comes in and puts it through. Bombers continue to try hard. Can they get over the top of the Tigers?
Well, he won the Anzac medal here on this ground early in the season, Ryder. And today he's starting to become an influence. A couple of goals. Essendon close enough and out. 16 points again. Lovett, Murray, Dempsey, one hand. Needs to retrieve it to Welsh. Out wide to Prismal. Now they're going here. Lovett, Murray's on. Decided against it.
He had to go then. He had to go and didn't. Oh, no.
He put Lovett Murray under the pump, Prismal. And now he puts McMahon down. Ball still in dispute. Well done, Lovett Murray to Welsh. To Monfries. They've worked it back to Dempsey. He takes off. But Richmond are as quick as them at the moment. That's what's worrying the Bombers. Here's Dyson. Stopped, propped, floated it forward. That's a wonderful mark.
Go, Jack. Next one.
That's painful for any coach. For the ball to come in like that, a dipping, floating mongrel.
Gee, there's a maturity about Tamling over the last month or so. He's been terrific.
He certainly has. White goes in short. Jackson, who's had a very good season, storms away into the path of Delidio. Can't quite reach it. Jams it on the boot. Adjacent to the behind post and kicks a point.
Stanton coming off for a well-earned rest. He's got a couple of injury problems, the Bombers. When you've lost Lovett and Lloyd's out of the game.
They flirt with danger again there, but Welsh kept his head. Davey, they need a long lead from Lucas up forward now. Forget going sideways. He just sets it up. Lucas comes to the football. He's one out. Why not go to him? He's dragged down. Could have almost got a free. Kick comes from Monfries, crumbing brilliantly. The hand pass kicked out to him there by McPhee, but he sends it wide to the right.
Still plenty of time left. They need to keep attacking the Tigers.
So Jackson to Cotchin. Cotchin and Cousins. Gee, they've been called together a lot in the same sentence.
What a kick.
Now, Newman, normally a good deliverer himself. He's led well today, Newman. Nahas running.
He went so far to get that footy.
We would have had a good half-time sprint today with these two teams, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Nahas would have been right in there. Well, they just overplayed this. Speaking of pace, love it. That's a pretty good kick, I reckon, to centre half forward. McVeigh half held on to Hurley. Well played, McMahon. Jackson. They just lack some leg speed forward there, the Bombers. Cousins, Patterson, Cotchin. Oh, he did it brilliantly to Cousins. Brown, Patterson, run down by Winderlick. And it'll be a ball up.
Got a pretty big injury there by the Tigers too, with Sylvester coming off with what looked like a pretty sore leg.
Why wouldn't you call for the stretcher? They were outnumbered down there, 5-4.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't look healthy. He's gone straight up the race. We'll get down to Ricky in a moment.
Hope he's okay. We're talking about trying to win the game, and of course he's got problems of his own, but you just wonder about the support staff there or the coaching staff. That was a stretcher situation. The ball went in and they dodged a bullet as Fletcher comes across to Dempsey, who swings it out wide, taken by Lovett. Lovett along the boundary to Prismal. He of the exquisite skills. Kicks it inside the forward 50. McVeigh, so quiet today, goes up and takes a very timely mark.
He'd only just come back onto the ground. Ben Cousins went with him, and then when the ball came out the other side, he snuck down into the forward line. We'll see it. Oh, no. Oh. Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
I think it was the one he fell back on.
Yeah.
One buckled, so
one buckled,
his right buckled and he fell back on his left. I think the left was the problem more so than the right. Meantime, McVeigh misses to the left.
He's not fit either, McVeigh. He's going at about 30% also. There's a lot of sore and sorry players out there at the moment. Vickery, who came up for a rest, he's had to come back on because Sylvester's gone off injured.
Well, the Bombers have missed a few in this last term. How many are they going to get? White runs it out hard. Oh, gee, important ball than to Ledio. Now they're on here, the Tigers, to Morton. Just took a while to get hold of it, Morton, and then he put himself under the pump. He was too slow to react there. Dempsey, oh, he ducked down. He's in trouble. Well, he just kept bouncing off them and gave it to Mr. Gadget. Lovett Murray to Slattery. It's going to be an exciting 10 minutes. Here's Dyson. He asks Pearce to go, and Pearce goes down the line. McVeigh again the target. Free kick, Polo.
He's not fit. He's not the answer. McVeigh cannot play full forward because he hasn't got the speed. Oh, look at that. That's Morton there. He's got to go two hands. Crucial part of the match. He's just got to go for it.
McMahon around the outer side. Remus pursues him. Nahas takes the mark. Right on the logo. In front of the Great Southern Stand. What a round it's been for big finishers. And now Essendon throwing everything at the Tigers, but the Tigers probably just one goal away from stitching it up. Essendon well aware of that. Stanton, Prismal, Winderlick on the outer side, feeds it forward. Dempsey. So much of the football needs to be precise. Can he get Lovett on the angle? Not quite. Brilliantly read by the skipper. Newman came across. Cousins a hand pass to Jackson. Fed it forward to Ledio. Back to McMahon. Kicks it down towards the 50. Have they got a finishing move here? Brown on the lead. Morton.
He knew that Brown couldn't kick 50-odd metres on the right side, his number third, and just let into space. They've actually had that kick really well all day. Just kicked it into the open space and allowed the forwards to run onto it.
Cousins up to 31 possessions, and again there, just held his head on the outer side wing.
Huge kick.
Can Morton finish it? I think he may have. He's kicked the goal.
So a couple to Morton. He's got a very good record against the Tigers. 100 points for Richmond. Just the second time this season they've got to 100. The only other time they won the match against the Dockers earlier this year. So it's been a barometer, but so hard to get to. Well, Essendon here have no room to move. And you doubt whether they've got enough fit players out there right now. They're on their knees. Jackson away. Over the top. Fletcher has to keep it forward. He does. Now provides some space for McPhee. And that's out of play.
A bit slippery over there.
Those couple of veterans, well, the three that came back, well, Patterson's been good, but the Cochin, Cousins, Brown, those three inclusions. And I think Patterson, too's done really well.
He's had a good afternoon.
Vickery wins the tap. I mean, Brown's numbers are not high, and I know he missed a goal, but he has kept his head in this last quarter a couple of times.
It helps when you've got a bloke on your side that's kicked 6 goals also.
Yep.
In Jack Revolt, who's developing into a wonderful forward.
Well, they've got 8 out of Morton and Revolt, Ox, and the Bombers have got 2 out of Lucas and Lloyd.
Yep, that's the difference right there.
Cochin beautifully done. He just rode with it. Deledio, lovely kick. Couldn't quite hold it, Morton. Good defensive work there by the Bombers. Hislop, Cochin.
Hit him high.
This boy is a wonderful player. He gets to the right spots. He very rarely wastes the football.
Fletcher, he was a bit stuck there, Fletcher.
Couldn't do much about that. Haven't seen him have all that many set shots a goal.
No, this year, for instance, only 2 set shots for goal. He's kicked 1-1.
He's normally the creator, isn't he? He doesn't normally have the finishing touches.
So this is a test of technique and temperament, isn't it? Because if he kicks this, they're home. It's not going to come back. They might still be home because that lead now is looking large with 6 minutes remaining.
Wouldn't be surprised if Fletcher goes the big torpy here down the centre.
Great tonic for the club too. Well, he goes down the centre. Polo from behind can't get to the contest. In front, Welsh takes the mark.
Don't need to kick a torpy when you kick 65 in a low flat punt.
Must be a great feeling. He comes out towards Momfrey as a left half forward to the run of Dempsey. Can they go coast to coast? Dempsey's kick is on line. He's got it. Right. One into the other. They're still alive.
Well, miracle recovery from Jared Sylvester. It went off a few minutes ago. It looked like a broken ankle, but he's back. He's been in the recovery room. He's back on the bench now, about to warm up and come back on. So good news for Richmond. Mark McVeigh really struggling with a cork thigh.
Thanks, Rick. Ryder out of the centre. Oh, good bounce for Davey. Crash, bang.
He's hurt too.
Polo was the other man. Now Dyson, long ball in forward. Tambling read it well. Charges away. Kicks to post and Hooker. Well done, Hooker. Davey still down. Had a little bit of time to Ledio. Well done, Dempsey. Back to McGuan. Edwards, little sidestep, clever. And then kicks to half forward. Hislop at the back. He's only played in 1 winning game, Hislop, in his career. It might be 2 coming up. Gee, Revolt, no free. And now Fletcher, such an important ball. Monfries, who was in the air for a long time. They both go to ground. McMahon, Prismal, Bombers with a chance. Prismal's kick to Winderlick. Clever, very clever. Well, Stanton's missed a couple. Here comes the moment. Here he goes. That'll do.
What a wonderful effort. Stanton held his nerve. Sometimes you get too much time to think. He's back in the middle. Over the football, Dempsey. Soccering forward, Dyson. Love it. Stolen away by Tambling. Tambling scrambles it down towards half forward. Coming through his hooker in the opposite direction, Cochin. Cochin slips a hand pass away intended for post. Well worked. Hooker. Prismal. A couple of exquisite kicks coming out from Prismal. Monfries around the outer side. Lucas. Just over 4 minutes to go. The veteran wheels around. Long kick. Remus in front. Spilt the mark. Did the hard stuff. Got to position A. Socket off the ground by Thursfield. And the ball goes out of bounds.
Well, Remus was there for 40 seconds by himself. They set up with a loose. Polo had to drop back, and he still nearly got an uncontested mark inside 50 and spilt an absolute soda.
Ryder taps it back. King looks for the high tackle, and he won it. The moment he took delivery, King, he was looking for a high tackle. And Winderlick fell for it. Here's Nahas.
Yeah, they've got to attack.
So post. Just remember, there's so many young Tigers out there. Got to keep their cool here. King.
I don't know if they can hold it up for 3 minutes. I don't think they're skillful enough to be able to do that.
Well, the best way of winning it is another goal, isn't it? Well done, Lucas. McVeigh, he hasn't got the run to get through. Lucas has to get something on the ball. Is that going to be out in the full? That's a bad result.
That's what happens when you're playing injured players, though.
Yeah.
McVeigh's got to stay out there. Obviously not a happy fan there, but McVeigh is not fit and he can't take off.
That was the problem. He could have darted back towards the middle had he been fit. Out of defence, McMahon. Look at that pack. That's 6 players up. Camped in front, one of the stars of the afternoon. Revolt kicks down towards half forward, but it bounces out of bounds. Patterson comes on. Vickery is off. Revolt, he's been terrific. He's lit up that forward line with 6 goals for the Tigers. Throw it in. Ryder reaches over the top. Jackson with a football. Out of bounds on the full clock. Stops. But you doubt they can make it up now. Cousins waiting to come back on. The old head might be just the man they need for the last couple of minutes. Meantime, Dempsey swings it to Prismal. Prismal has used the ball very well in the last few minutes. Goes to Slattery.
With some time and space. Nahas running very hard. Rather Hislop. Now Lovett. King, good tackle. McPhee. McPhee goes forward with a lovely kick. Monfries. He's a long way out. Goes to the top of the square. Who can take the mark? Patterson, Lovett, Murray. Lurking is Stanton.
Well, third man up here. Tap it back. They've got to create. They just can't allow it to happen. They've got to create something here, the Bombers.
Patterson, Winderlick, Remus couldn't get any purchase. Patterson, Cochin spin out of trouble and just banged it forward.
Great by Patterson. Davey just back on the ground, gives them the extra number. Slattery intent initially on using him. Now swings it across the ground. Time is the enemy. Prismal to Pears. Needs a long kick. They're drifting back. High ball. McVeigh out of position. Post could have got a free. Forced to Monfries. Monfries gives it to Stanton. And this time, Remus has taken the mark. The clock is down to 1:35. It continues to run. Don't know why. It's still running that clock.
He's got to put the ball on the ground.
Well, the umpire hasn't called time on. Remus kicks a goal.
Well,
Gee, some time came off the clock there.
I think that's the case. If he hasn't called time off, he blows it back on. It's you don't stop play unless he puts the ball on the ground. And you got to do no. You got to put the ball on the ground. You got to kill the ball. Then the ball's still alive. You still got to kill it. So in normal play, if you take a mark, it's the clock's still going. So he's got to kill it by putting it onto his boot.
It's good effort by Stanton there.
Yeah.
It's a terrific kick back by Stanton. Well, he's been there before, Jade Rawlings, in his short career.
He'll have grey hair very quickly if this trend continues.
Well, for the second week in a row, the Tigers are in a grandstand finish. The last one finished in a draw.
No one there.
Jackson got a lot on it. It's still going. Morton, surely. Up he gets. What's he do? He's thinking. Back to Nahas. He's tricky Nahas, but not tricky enough. Slattery. But they didn't concede a point. It was so important. And now the Bombers can run it.
Oh, here they go.
Prismal. Still going. Along the wing. Davey. What a kick. Running onto it. And then Davey quickly to fall forward. Remus up high, but there's no one down. And Post has got a chance.
Tambling. Slips a hand pass outside the 50. They try and get it out of bounds, the Tigers. Davies got other ideas. Back to Prismal. Kicks inside the forward 50. Shades of yesterday. Only this time, the defender has taken the mark. Edwards is back and taking all the time in the world. We're down to 10 seconds. He's told to play on. One more kick will ice it. That's it. Jackson, just take your time. Wait for the siren. Tigers win. A weekend of thrillers.
So just another great game of footy. 15-11 to 14-12, 101 to 96. Tigers get their 4th win of the year. It's a crushing blow for the Bombers. Oh, Ricky, what a match and what a finish.
Yeah, brilliant match, Mac. I spoke to Chris Emmett this time last week. He was very disappointed, but today made exactly what the club needed.
Yeah, exactly. It's started getting a bit nervous in the end there. I thought it might be another draw we'd get done, but the boys really stuck to what we know, and I'm really proud of them today.
Yeah, winning becomes a habit, doesn't it? You really need those under your belt.
Yeah, it does. I think it's just when we're under pressure, we just need to stick to what we know. And last week we sort of went away from that, so it was pleasing to see that the boys sort of knew where we were at.
In terms of leadership, you know, you're captaining the club, but it was great today to have Ben Cousins in the lineup, and he got your boys together at half-time. What did he say?
Oh, he just sort of said keep a lid on it, just keep it calm, just go through the process like we did in the first half and just forget about the first half. So
we saw a great glimpse of the future of the Richmond Football Club with some of those young guys. Jack Revolt kicking some goals.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the young boys stood up when it counted today, and I'm really pleased for them.
Congratulations, mate, on 150 games. Good stuff. Thanks, Chris.
Good on you, Ricky. The Victoria's captain. The side get home after a draw last week. They win by 5 points today. 101-96. Celebrations all round for a club that's been starved of success. This is Sunday Footy.